Hello and very good evening to everyone. This is your host, Vans at Kopi With Vans. That's right. So as usual, before we start, let's start out with the coffee first, right? There you go, my mug. Thank you. Okay, I hope everyone having a fantastic evening. As promised, weekly we coming up with different content, different topics. And if you look at the past few topics that we talked about in medical, we talk about science, we talk about viruses, and so on and so forth. But today it's a little bit more on not only on parenting, but I think it's more into I call it the super moms, right? Um, Rather than me doing all the introduction, but I think it will be marvelous to get the. I got two guests over here right now who are Jasmine and Patricia, and today we're going to talk about celebrating life with a child with RAD. That's right, with RDSS. President Patricia is here with us, and Vice President Kenneth might be joining us later, and Jasmine, caregiver of Sarah, volunteering with RDSS as well. So let's get them on board, and then let's dive into the topics that I have very interesting topics to ask them as well, and also to share what is the rare is all about rare diseases in Singapore and even worldwide. But before I even talk a little bit on that, just a short introduction about Rare Disorder Society in Singapore. It's a non-profit organization initiated by parents of children with LSD, established in 2011. It aims to create awareness about various life-threatening rare diseases, right? We call it the hardy rare diseases, by providing acknowledgement and investment. RDSS, Rare Disorder Society Singapore, looks to improve lives with timely, accurate diagnosis and intervention. Through building a well established system, it also aims to encourage society to join parents of RD, rare disease patients, in creating a better future for them. All right, so I'm going to pull in the first, my guest speaker today is Jasmine. Hello, Jasmine.
Hi
How
everyone.
are
I'm
you?
Jasmine, and this
Hey,
is
I can see
Sarah.
Sarah
We're doing
there. Hello,
good.
Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
Right, okay. So as usual, I'm sure Sarah has taken a very good sleep, as what we talked about. So she's ready and excited as well.
I
All
hope
right.
so.
Yeah,
Eyes
yeah.
are quite wide open.
Yeah. So she's not sleeping. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear from. We have Patricia online also. Let's bring Patricia up. Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Hello, Patricia. Can you hear us?
Hi. Chloe is sleeping already. Yeah. Chloe is sleeping, so I can't put her on
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay. Understand. Okay. So we also have Kenneth. Is Kenneth ready to come up online as well? Kenneth.
Uh,
Okay. So Kenneth
he's
probably
having a
taking
bit
some
of,
time. But before we
yeah.
bring him in, so we have Patricia here and Sarah, and Jasmine as well. Patricia, do you want to give us a short introduction about yourself first before we go on with more with Jasmine and also with Kenneth?
Okay.
Patricia?
So myself, I'm the, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep. I'm the co-founder and president of RDSS. Of course, Kenneth, as you mentioned, is my husband, and also he co-founded the RDSS together. We did this together. So back then was because rare disease is really unheard of. So we started this support group. So that is on the volunteer front. But professionally, I work in the financial industry. So I'm actually a compliance manager in an insurance company. And then for Kenneth himself, maybe speak a little bit since he's not in right now. He used to run a business, and then after Chloe was being diagnosed, we reckoned that we need somebody at home to care for our daughter. So he actually gave up the business. He's been staying home, taking care of Chloe, together with our helper. And then Chloe is my eldest daughter. I have a young boy, a typical kid, and I'm very active and needing a lot of guidance and nagging to do his work. Yeah, so there's this two.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for your introduction. So now we will go to Jasmine. Hi,
Yeah.
Jasmine. So your introduction,
Hi.
please.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I'm a homemaker. I'm a full-time caregiver to Sarah as well. I've got two wonderful children. So Sarah is the younger one. She's 9 years old this year, and she has got a very caring and loving koko, Joven, who's 10 this year. So yeah, Sarah has been a beneficiary with RDSS. And for me, in recent years, I've been volunteering with RDSS as well, and hopefully to reach out to more parents, whereby if let's say they have a child with a rare disorder, because we're not alone in this journey.
Thank you, Jasmine, for the introduction, and it's great pleasure to have both Patricia and Jasmine online. I'm sure Kenneth is trying to log in, but I think he has some issues. Probably let's wait for a couple of more minutes for Kenneth. But I know you both has given us introduction, but I think when we talk about diseases, right, in Singapore, even worldwide, I think rare disease is not spoken so much about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, because even though I'm not from the health industry, but I'm coming from the fitness industry, but it's very, very rare to hear that it's rare disease even in Singapore, even worldwide. But when I did a little bit of research and study, then I came to know a lot more information of rare disease. And I also know that 2 years back, before the COVID, I was one of your MC for your event on a rare disease celebration. So I think it is as a very meaningful, and I think the public should know what is rare disease all about. Maybe can we start off with Patricia? Patricia, when we talk about rare disease, I mean, as a president, what is it that you think the public should know in terms of rare disease is all about?
I think rare disease is something that I mean, like the name suggests, right? It's very unheard of, and some of the diseases, right? When the kid is living with such a disease, sometimes it's not visible. Physically they look normal. They'll be running around, talking and doing the normal activities of a typical kid. So sometimes some of these kids are very misunderstood. And when you say, oh, this kid has got a condition and this kid needs help, a lot of people don't think so, because what they see is what they believe it to be. So this is one of the things that we want the public to understand is a kid with a rare disorder doesn't mean that they're always physically impaired, or they have some kind of what people say as a disability. Some of them actually look very, very normal. And then some of the members of the public believe that people with rare disease, they probably won't won't be able to contribute back to society. So some people will look at so-called the ROI, is treating them like an investment. So they feel that if I have $30,000, instead of spending it on a kid with a rare disorder, whom they believe will not live long and will not contribute to society anyway, they rather use the 30,000 to do some other form of maybe charity work, or help in some other children in other aspects. But I think the fact about it is some of these kids, some of them may live very long. Of course, generally, a lot of them, the lifespan is shorter than usual. But with the proper care, a lot of them can actually contribute back to society. So this is something that maybe a lot of people don't understand. Take, for example, my own child, right? She can't speak, she can't walk, she can't swallow. So basically, she can't eat normal food. So we feed her through a feeding tube. We only give her milk and puree, things like that. But cognitively, she's not affected. So she's very, very intelligent, very inspiring. She can do a lot of things that typical human beings, I won't even say kids, she can actually achieve a lot more than even typical human beings can achieve. So for her, we spend a lot of time and effort, caring for her and grooming her. Yes, financially, emotionally, we do need to invest a lot in her, but I think she has come a long way, and she has inspired a lot of people to come to understand that even kids like her, with multiple disabilities, can actually do a lot and achieve out of the ordinary, in fact. And then, a lot of the help that we require, sometimes, yes, we do need.
Okay, we are breaking off with Patricia at the moment. I think connection is not clear. Yeah.
Um,
Can you repeat that again, Patricia? Because we lost you for about 5 seconds. Patricia? Okay, I think the connection is not good. Can you hear us? Okay, so what we do, so we just have to get Patricia's connection back, but in between, I think Jasmine's connection is good at the moment.
Okay.
Jasmine, I want to play a video first that is shared with me. Love is not rare.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you came back. Okay, so I think it's the connection. Okay, is it better now, Patricia? Okay,
Yeah,
Patricia.
better.
Okay, better. Okay, so you were saying that,
Yeah,
that the last 5 seconds was gone. So you want to repeat that again?
What did I say the last 5 seconds?
Okay, you say that, in terms of investments, in terms of the challenges that, as a parent, you as yourself faced. And so probably you want to continue from there?
Yeah, so I mean, what I'm trying to say is a lot of these kids can actually do a lot if we just try to understand what they need. If we give them the proper care, they can actually go very, very far. And sometimes when when our kids go out, actually we don't need a lot. We just need people to understand that we're also human beings. We also just want to enjoy, the breeze, the scenery like any other persons. So we don't need just need empathy. It can be simple things like, just giving us a smile instead of a stare.
Okay.
Just saying hi to us instead of shunning away from us and say, oh, must be something wrong with the kid. And rare diseases is actually, you can't catch a rare disease like you can catch COVID. Just by coming closer to the kid, by touching the kid, you won't get a rare disease. Because a lot of these diseases are actually genetic.
Yes.
So, but a lot of people look at the children, they will feel that, oh, must be contagious, better keep away. And some of them may actually pull their own kids away and tell the kid that you better stay away from that kid. I think something is very wrong with the kid. Or they even pass comments like, oh, must be the parents that did something wrong in the previous life. That's why now, it's payback time and it's, and it comes back in a form of rare disease on the children. They say things like that, which I feel it hurts a lot. But of course, we also try to understand that it's because they're ignorant. So that's why through this program, through many other events, we try to educate the public to better understand our situation, what are rare diseases, what are the things that we hope to see from the public, what kind of support that we're looking. It's not just about money all the time. Like I mentioned, sometimes it's just greeting, just hi or smile. I think that's good enough instead of like staring. And I mean, there are people who stare at our kids and say, oh, the kid looks like a ghost. I think it's very hurtful. Yeah, so these are the little things that I think will make a lot of difference to us as parents to a kid with rare disease.
So I can see that there's a challenges, not only the current challenges. I mean, it's not a challenge at all, because I mean, as one person that's proven 100% positively, which I have talked with her, which definitely is Jasmine. Before I remember when I was the volunteer for one of the events, I saw Jasmine's way of speaking positively, 100% positively. She didn't even thought this is a challenge. She was just maintaining such a super positive mom. So that's why I call it the super moms. Of course, indeed, with the current challenges, and I came to know a lot of stuff. Because to care for Sarah, that constantly she have to do suction for 15 minutes, every 15 minutes. So imagine Jasmine, didn't even take it as a task. She didn't take it as a challenge. She just said, "It's my daughter, and I'm taking care of it." So that's such a wonderful way of a parent. It's a super parent, definitely, right? Which of course we're going to come back to Jasmine again in a while for some Q&A. Thanks, Patricia, for the introduction. But I'm going to ask a very sensitive question because I think it's very sensitive. Just now you mentioned that the child, their lifespan is very limited. Um, I know it's very sensitive. Pardon me if I asked the question wrongly. Is there an age where most of the time they will not able to go through it?
Actually, based on research and based on Chloe's, my daughter's condition back then when she was first diagnosed, the doctors actually told us that she will not live beyond 1 year old. So when she was being diagnosed, she was already 7 months old, and her heart was twice the size of a child at her age. They actually told us that she only got 2 to 3 months to go. And they told us that, maybe you can just bring her back, make her happy, and then, 2, 3 months later, just let her go. So that was, the outcome that we got from the doctors. Amazingly, although we started her late on the treatment at 9 months old, she made it through her first birthday. Usually the treatment, if there's any, should be given within the first 6 months of the kid's life. So we already started late, so the hopes were not high. And they are just saying that even though we give the treatment, the effects may not come in time to intercept the deterioration of the condition. But fortunately, she pulled through. So when we went back for a review, they said, she's probably not going to pull through the second year. That's based on her condition and the research. So we celebrated her second birthday, and then we went back for review again. I think from then on until now, this year she's 12. She's turning 12 in November this year. The doctor has stopped predicting. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is there are some conditions whereby the kid don't live beyond 2. Some don't live beyond 5. Some maybe a bit longer, maybe 15, 17, 18. But a lot of all these predictions are based on research. And when it comes to reaction, it's really very, very difficult to tell. They can tell you a number based on past experiences, but sometimes it's also depending on the kind of care that you give to the child. So Chloe, along the way, we almost lost her many, many times. But we are very, very blessed that so far, so many times, we managed to pull through together with her. So it's also up to the kid's determination. It's up to the caregivers, the kind of involvement and the commitment that you have to take care of the kid. It also determines how far the kid can go.
Understand. Thank you so much, Patricia. So we're going to go for a short video, and then it's about love is not rare, and then we will come back with more questions. So let's view the video right now. I'm going to share it.
It's every step I take and every plan when I say, so you see, it is all of me. My love is not rare, it is everywhere. My love is not rare, nothing can compare. Every mountain I'll cross over, every burden I will bear. My love is not rare. It's every breath you take and every sound you make. It's every smile you give me when I hold you in my arms. It's every time you fight on through your darkest days. I can see you love me. My love is not rare, it is everywhere. My love is not rare, that it can compare. Every mountain I'll cross over, every burden I will bear. My love is not rare, not
Thank you. I think that was a very inspiring and also a very lovely video that you have shared with us from the Rare Disease Society of Singapore. So now we come back to Jasmine. Hello, Jasmine. Okay.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. So I call you as a super mom for a reason because I spoke to you, I think, 2 years back before the event that I was doing a volunteering for RDSS. So I mean, for me, it's I think a lot of parents, right? You know, every parent go through certain kind of challenges with their kids and children, but with a rare disease condition parent, I think it's more. I will not say it's challenging at all, right? It's not challenging because it's proven by you, which I which I
No,
personally.
it's challenging. It's challenging.
Okay. But how do you with the kind of condition that you twin yourself such a positive manner, how do you do that? I mean, in terms of your energy, I always see you are full energy because you told me that when you drive Sarah for a medical appointment, and what you do is while driving you do the suction for her, or if you park the car by the expressway and do the suction, because without the suction I think she can get choked with her own saliva. How do you have that kind of courage? How do you have that kind of that not emotional? You can't be emotional, but you're such a strong lady. How do you do that?
I think
Try making her cry. Try making her cry. I've not seen her cry before.
But how do you do that?
Okay, now it's not a session to make me emotional, right? Okay.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, I think it's still a roller coaster ride for parents, for all of us, when we know that our child actually has got a condition, and to have a rare condition even. Yeah, but I think ultimately is you just want to be there for your child. You can't let yourself to be like that depressed always, because especially like for kids like Sarah, their needs, their wants, 100% is reliant on the caregiver. So if let's say the caregiver is not in a good condition, how is the child going to live happily? Okay, not say just happily, it's just making her basic needs being met. And I think if you want something, you got to do it yourself rather than waiting for people to come and help you. For example, I mean, when I started off bringing Sarah out, it wasn't me bring her out. He also was together with my husband. But then when he has to like go back to work back then, right? And then I was telling myself, hey, I need to like bring her back to the hospital for appointments and stuff like that. So we started off by just taking cabs. And then after that, I tell myself, why not we just try, me driving her for a short distance from my place to the hospital isn't that a long distance drive. So we tried that and it actually worked out. So from then on, I got more adventurous and eventually it became just a norm for me to be like driving with her. And I think it boils down back to safety. I still do that. Like, I mean, I still drive with Sarah when, I do it very safely. Like, I make sure that the car is well parked, or if let's say it's red light, I know for that few minutes, I'm able to suction Sarah safely. So yeah. And I don't think having a child with special needs makes us super parents in any ways. It's just that we just got to deal with it, because it's needs that they have that we have to look into. For a neurotypical child, or we know it as like normal child, we also got to look into their other aspects of their needs in terms of like their emotional, their behavior. Even like for special needs kids, they also have got their emotions that we're going to handle. But I think the extra thing that we got to take care of them is their medical needs. Yeah.
Okay. I got to be very honest here. If I were in one of your position, I think I'll be devastated. I'll be very honest with you, because not everybody who look strong, they are very strong. Not at all. It can be emotional. It can be, because it's not about the duty that you're doing for your child, but it's the amount of love. That's why if you look at it, one of the viewer, Samantha, has said that I do believe these parents are angels sent to earth to look after the children. How many can do this with unconditional love? God bless all, from Samantha. Thank you, Samantha. But I think it's more than that, because for Sarah's condition, Jasmine, every 15 minutes you have to do the suction for her. If not, she'll get choked with her own saliva. I mean, then of course, unpredictable things can happen. So throughout a 24-hour cycle, how many times are you doing suction?
Actually, it really depends on whether she's sleeping or not. If she's sleeping, actually she's very good. I don't have to suction her at all. So most of the time I'm driving or I have got something to attend to, I actually hope that she sleeps. But if she sleeps mostly in the day, that means she will go on US timing, whereby I have to sleep. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like such a struggle, right? But I think as time goes by, we sort of know like how she is. Like maybe if let's say she's not being suctioned for that, for that exactly 15 minutes, will she get really choked up so badly? Maybe not. So I sort of like know how to handle it. If let's say I'm really on expressway and I can't really stop the car, I'll just use a tissue and wipe off the secretions, so at least she's able to bubble out more secretions out from her trachea tube. Actually, trachea means that she actually has got this hole. Even for Chloe recently, she also has this stoma form in the throat. Actually, this hole helps them to breathe better. They bypass their upper respiratory tract, so it's using this hole to help them to breathe a lot better. Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you once again. I mean, I'm speechless, right? I mean, as a parent, even I am myself a parent, but sometimes we do get angry with our kids for little things. But over here is totally a different kind of feel that we are going through, a different kind of emotional as a parent. I'm sure Sarah is not. She knows mommy have to sleep, so she's trying to sleep, so she's a good girl, right? She tried not to give so much of work to the mommy. Now I'm going to come back to Patricia. Patricia, challenges that a family of a child who has a rare disorder faces, because on the event day when I came in as I told you I was an MC, I saw so many parents with different walks of life, different kind of ethnic groups, all gathered in there. There was a huge amount of energy that I felt, and I was emotional, and I teared as well, because I cannot control tears. Nothing to be shy of. But with that kind of energy, I saw every parent was appreciating their child to the maximum level of love they have, even though they didn't thought this is kind of whatever that you mentioned, right? People give you judgment on such things as, because of what you have done in the previous life, you're getting that, or I don't want to come near your child. So much of comments and all that, but then I'm sure none of the parents just take it too hard and then they know what they are giving to their child. But what kind of financial support that that our local government is giving, or what is their challenges like? Because individual, we know that rare disease is not just one condition with the same symptom for everybody. It can change us, right? And what kind of as a president, what is the challenges that you face?
I think financial difficulties is probably one of the very common challenges that many of the families face. So, I mean, I won't say there's no help in Singapore. I mean, the government does provide financial help. But then, of course, when it comes to financial help, then all the families need to be means tested. So, typically, for the middle income families, they are not rich enough to pay for all the expenses, but they are not poor enough to qualify for some of these assistance. So this group of people are actually the worst hit by all the medical needs and all that by the kid. So a lot of out of pocket expenses need to be paid. And then especially if you have another typical kid, you have old parents to take care of. So there's a lot of financial burden on the family is actually quite unimaginable in many situations. Of course, then besides financial difficulties that we are facing, we in terms of our daily lives, there's a lot of adaptation. Even within the house. Let's say our kids, like for example, my kid, we need a hospital bed because she's grown so much. So even the hospital bed, I mean, if we can afford, we'll buy one. If not, then we'll wait for somebody to donate to us. And then there are many other consumables which also cost money. So of course, sometimes the hospitals will help. Some other companies sometimes they will also donate funds, donate goods in kind. So of course that will help. But I think one of the challenges that many of the families face is more emotional burden more than anything. Because I think when it comes to rare diseases, yes, a lot of things cost money, but I think family support is one of the things that is very key to us walking this journey with our kid. Because if you don't have the support of the people around you, if you're going to walk this alone, it's going to be very, very difficult. And when we go out, it's a lot of challenges. If some of us, we are fortunate enough, we can afford a car. But then even if you can afford a car, then is the car, does it cater to the needs of a child? If the wheelchair is very big, can you afford a big enough car to load all the things into the car? Not just the wheelchair, but we actually bring luggages of things with us when we go out. And then when we go out, how about the facilities at the places that we visit, the amenities? Is it friendly to people on wheelchair? Like I think on the event itself, on the day itself, you would have seen a lot of them actually use machines. So the machine itself costs a lot. And then when we go out, a lot of these some of them they run on internal battery, some they don't. So we need to find a plug somewhere. If suddenly, like for example, some suction machines they don't run on batteries, we need to find a plug. Some of the maybe things like humidifier, ventilators that help the child to breathe. Where do we get the electrical supplies? When we are out and all that. So there's a lot of all these mixture of challenges that we need to face for a long, long time, for as long as we have the kid with us. And these will need a lot of adjustments along the way. So like what Jasmine mentioned, right? It's I mean, of course, to us parents, we feel that, this is our child. There's really no point, keep focusing on what condition they already have. I mean, you can't change anything. It's no point really focusing on what they can't do. So as parents with rare, parents of kids with rare disorders, we have learned to appreciate the little things in life, the little achievements by our kids. We have stopped comparing them with typical kids because there's really no way to compare. And sometimes we don't even set milestones for them. We have our own hopes, that our child can do certain things, but we need to also learn to be realistic. What can our child do within their ability, and not keep thinking about how I wish my kid can be something or like somebody else, when you know it is not possible. Of course, miracles do happen, but if the child is not able to walk, and there are some maybe spinal issues, there's breathing issues and all that. I mean, you can't expect the kid to be able to run a marathon, and like my kid, she can't even go onto a plane. Although I will wish that one day I can bring her on a holiday and all that, but we appreciate what she can do, whether it's her own effort or from us nurturing her, together. I think we learn to even enjoy when she makes sounds that's close to mommy. For typical kids, when they keep calling mommy, papa, usually you will say, can you just keep quiet? Can you just give me some time? Just
True.
stop calling me. Just stop calling mommy, stop calling papa. You're so noisy. But I think with a kid who can't speak, if they can just make sounds that close to acknowledging you, I think that kind of feeling is really beyond words. It took us years of speech therapy, tens and thousands of dollars to go through, various kinds of therapies just for her to make the first sound, and eventually to be able to say something close to a papa or a mummy. So, and I have a younger son who's like the other extreme, very active, very noisy. But when we want to get angry with a kid, we are reminded of, the other child, one who cannot really call you or greet you mommy, and you wish the child can, versus another one who's always calling you. Would you want to tell him to keep quiet? No, right? I think we have already, tried to look at the best in every situation that we're in. Yeah. So these are some of the things that we probably wouldn't be able to learn until we have a child who has got a condition. Then we see things and we see life from a different perspective.
Thank you, Patricia, for giving us more in depth on the information on that. So now we go back to Jasmine. Jasmine, I know you are also a volunteer with RDSS. So maybe you want to share some of your experiences. I mean, is there a moment where you became emotional but not showing us? I'm sure there will be, but you always be that cheerful face that I always seen, or maybe Patricia have seen. Is there moments where you just just go to a place of yourself and just sit down and just let it go? I mean, is there a moment where you felt that your heart is so heavy?
I think over the past few years with journeying this journey with Sarah as well, we have actually attended quite a number of funerals, not of adults, but children. So I guess those are the times whereby I felt a little bit more emotional, in that sense that I'll be thinking, what happens if Sarah is next and she is no longer with us? And I guess this is a question that most parents with normal children wouldn't be thinking about it. But it's because it's the fact that we know that the time spent with them, right, is unknown. We wouldn't know how much time we have with our child, and that's the reason why that we really cherish every minute, every second that we have with them. And I think from the stage that we learn how to take good care of them, from the stage that we know that they have such a condition, to learning how to take care of them properly, to wanting to help them to unleash their potential as a child and things like that. And eventually we enjoy spending time with our kids. So those if you are saying about emotional, I'll get emotional when I think if Sarah is no longer with me, and I will like just tear, or sometimes when I'm driving, yeah, I will just cry a bit. But yeah, that's about just letting out the emotions, the frustrations. May not necessarily be a bad thing, but I think ultimately I can still fall back on the support group that we RDSS has already formed, and the parents in there are all so positive, all so supportive, and they're always there to lend you a listening ear. Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine, for being so honest. Patricia, how many cases are there in Singapore right now in terms of rare diseases?
Actually, there are like thousands of them, because there are different kinds of rare diseases. So each kind has got a certain number, but put together, it's actually thousands. But of course, the numbers that are registered with us is 100 over families only currently, and because some of these, a lot of these members that join RDSS are actually introduced to us via the hospitals. So some of these kids, they go to different hospitals. Then if we are not familiar with the hospitals there, they may not know of RDSS. Some of them hear of us through events, or maybe they do a search, and then they realize that, hey, Singapore, there's actually this charity. So if you're asking me, members wise, we have 100 over, but we know that there are many more out there who are not registered with us. For some reason, maybe they're not ready. Some, they just don't want to share. Some, they have not come to terms with the situation yet. Exact numbers, I can't, I'm not able to share, but we know there are many more out there.
Okay. Is there a specific where this is something to do with the inheritor? Because we know it's genetics, but is there a certain age? Can it happen to any child after 10 years, or is it always starts at earlier age or toddler's age? What is the symptoms of this rare disease all about?
It actually depends on what condition. And then, like for example, for Chloe, Pompe disease, right? They have the infantile onset, and then they also, there are some cases whereby we do have some adult patients as well. They were only diagnosed at maybe some are diagnosed at about 18, 20 years old, some in their 30s. So it really depends. Some cases, some kind of rare diseases, they actually have different subcategories that can happen when the kid is born. Some is only diagnosed much later. So it really depends. And the symptoms, right, also differs from one condition to another. Even within the same condition, it differs from one patient to another. Sometimes, even with, like, for example, the condition that my daughter suffers from, right? Some of them, the moment they are born, you can already see the symptoms are already presented at birth. Some of them only gradually grew weaker as they grow into maybe their teenage days. And then some only when they are much older, when they're adult, then they realize that, hey, my limbs are getting a little bit weaker. I'm breathing a bit harder as I walk the staircase and all that. So then that prompts them to, seek advice from the doctors, and that's when they gradually get diagnosed. So there's actually a wide spectrum, a wide variation of when symptoms are being presented, or what kind of symptoms are being presented, even within the same rare disease itself.
Thank you, Patricia, for that. And I mean, of course, there's a lot of comments that's coming in. Thank you so much to all the viewers. All are just saying how these wonderful parents are, both Jasmine and Patricia. And of course, there are many other parents as well who are watching this. Thank you so much for your joining in, tuning us. I mean, for those who are watching us or viewers, please do share this video, because we want to get RDSS, Rare Disease Society of Singapore, to be, we want to increase the awareness, and that's what it's all about. And please do share this in your Facebook and your Instagram, so that more people can actually watch it. And I know that every February, every year, there is an anniversary celebrated by the RDSS. Maybe Jasmine, you want to talk a little bit of that?
I think it's not just RDSS in Singapore, but worldwide we actually commemorate Rare Disease Day on the last day of February each year. Okay, so for this year will be 28. So every leap year there's going to be a 29, right? So we celebrate on the 29th of February. So for this year it's also RDSS 10th year anniversary, and really all thanks to Kenneth and Patricia, for setting up RDSS, this organization. If not, I think a lot of parents wouldn't know, where to seek support, seek help from. And so actually this year we have this Carry Hope social awareness campaign called Carry Hope. Okay, so Hope is actually this very cute sloth here. Okay, his or her name, we have a female and male version. So his name is Hope. Okay, Hope actually represents the wishes, the hopes that the beneficiaries have, the parents have, okay, for our kids. So carrying hope, meaning carrying this hope along with you everywhere you go. Snap a picture with hope and do a post on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and hashtag carry hope RDSS. So how to get this very cute sloth here, Hope? Okay, you can either join this virtual run, which is now ongoing. Okay, and it has been extended to end of March for the registration and for the run. Okay, so if not, you can actually purchase also via Iru, who is our sponsor for Hope. Okay, and you can get through the mobile app on their mobile app. Yeah.
Okay, so we can get the information later, so our viewers can also get that hope, And I know that the hope you got to carry and run, right, Jasmine?
Yes, correct.
That's the
That's
whole
why
idea,
it's called
right?
Carrying Hope.
Okay. I'm sure it's not heavy, yeah.
Sorry.
It's not that heavy, right?
Oh, so soft and fluffy. I think Sarah also like it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm moving on to the next question for Patricia. I know the I mean, rare disease is such a, because I did my research as well. Because of that, rare disease in terms of medical support or even the medicine or cure for it has not been established. Am I right to say that, Patricia? There's no medication can be cured at this point of time as we speak. As science and research is still working on it, probably because the numbers are small. Probably the research is not going as fast as it should be, or it should be going. What is your take on this?
I think there's a lot of research going on right now. In fact, not just cure, even for treatment, there's many of the rare conditions actually do not even have a treatment. So in terms of cure, of course, we hear a lot about gene therapy, gene replacement therapy and all that. And then for some treatments, they have the improved version. So we are just following up on some of these new developments and hoping that more diseases will have more improvements, even if there's not a cure, at least an improved version, so that the kid can lead a better life in terms of quality of life. Yeah. But of course, in terms of the cost itself, right? Currently, like my daughter, we actually spend like a few $100,000 a year just on her treatment, her medication alone. So even if there's a new version, improved version, or even a cure, it's not going to be cheap. If it's a cure, we would suspect it's going to cost millions of dollars. And right now, we really don't know even if there is a cure, who and where are we going to get all this financial assistance? Currently, we do not know of any. Yeah, so I mean, we're on one hand, we're hoping that there's a cure. On the other hand, we are also trying to establish some of these framework to help us, to prepare for such a day to come. If let's say there's really a cure or even a better version for some of the treatments, that we are able to tap on some of the assistance.
hopefully our researchers and scientists, there are so many things in the medical field. They are still working on it, especially like cancer and so on and so forth. There are many, many other medical conditions which is still medical experts are still working on it. We really give them the greatest appreciation to even rare disease also to find a possibility of a cure or even like a treatment, for our loved ones as well. The next question I'm going to go, of course, before I go on, of course, to the viewers, if you all have any question to ask the mummies here, I call them the super mummies, even though they don't agree with that. They just humbly decline and say that they are just normal mummies. But I mean, to me, they are super mums, all right? Going through a lot of stuff that can go through in your mind, their physical, probably sleep deprive, mental fitness. Mental fitness is very, very important, not just on the physical part of the body. Looking good and feeling healthy is different from mental health. So I think it's all come from here and then it have to go down. Because if here just goes a bit messy, then the entire human performance goes up. So if all the parents out there or even the viewers here, if you have any question to ask Jasmine and Patricia, please go ahead because we have the next 15 more minutes for our Q&A. So if you have any questions, so please type it out in the comment section and we can actually ask the super mom. So as we speak, we already got a few questions that already come up. That's good. Keep on coming up. We gave these two super moms some job to do. All right, so we have a viewer here. We have a viewer here. Her name is Vijaya. So she says, how can we volunteer? How does volunteering at RDSS entitle? Or she wants to know more details. So maybe, Patricia, you want to give some details?
My detail is very simple. Contact Jasmine.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, right. Jasmine is wrong. So, Jasmine, shall I flash your handphone number here in the...
I don't mind, but I think it really
No,
depends
no.
on. Okay, I think at this point of time, volunteering with RDSS is not so much about you guys able to do something for RDSS, as in we need something that we need help in the specific ways. But I think the least that people can help with RDSS is to help to raise awareness, by you can reshare RDSS posts as well, or even to be involved as a Carry Hope ambassador. And if you really want to do something more for RDSS, do come contact us, and then we can further discuss from there. We are always open and welcome any kind of collaboration, so that it can actually benefit not just our beneficiaries, but also to the public as well, to let them know that, besides maybe, although we have a child with a rare condition, that doesn't mean that, our life is going to be very miserable and things like that. And hopefully this will be able to inspire more people to look positively in life, and they're able to do more things that can impact not just for their own families, but for the whole society as a whole. Yeah.
So, Jasmine, can I share them with your Facebook details, like how they can send you a message or?
You can actually contact us through our RDSS Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
Not, the email address will be contact@rdss.org.sg.
Okay, you want to repeat that one more time, Jasmine?
Yeah, contact@rdss.org.sg.
Okay, I'm going to share the RDSS details right now. So maybe, Vijay, you can take a look at it. You can contact them, and then you can actually get more details about them. This is their Facebook address, all right? So you can look them under RDSS, and then that's where you can actually find. I hope we help to you. Thank you so much, Vijay, for willing to volunteer with RDSS. Okay, so there are more questions that's coming in, and of course, I have a few more questions that lined up for Patricia, for our president. Our vice president is missing in action. Something to do with the internet connection. So
maybe he can appear behind Patricia.
Yeah, right now. That one message said, oh, the internet connection is quite okay. So
This
okay,
is
so
always get arrowed,
yeah.
Then I
I
must
didn't
check now whether he's wearing his clothes.
Okay, of course, we are coming to the last 5 minutes. When we talked about public, I think, there's some kind of a great awareness that we need to do, especially even autistic kids, right? Some people doesn't really know how to. I think the best thing is if you do not know about the condition, do not judge. I think that's the most important thing that I'm asking the public because, I do hear comments before, right? When autistic kids, they have a certain hyper energy, they behave in a manner that, which other parents think that, hey, why this kid, is not disciplined by the parents, but it's not. Every situation is very different at different angles. So if we do not know about another person's condition, I think the best thing is just to keep quiet. Do not give unnecessary judgments or comments because if the moment when you give, it is very hurtful for a parent to hear that. Of course, they might not have shown that in terms of their anger, but emotionally it's very draining for them, especially anxiety, depression, and even with words. If you do not have something nice to say, do not say. Right? I think even for like Patricia, you mentioned to me that when you go out with kids, people tend to stay away from you, and of course they do like stay away from the kids, and you do get all these comments as well. But it's very very disheartening to know that as humans, right? We can be in any kind of race that we are, right? But the moment when we cut, the blood is always red. So I think this not been what we are. I think it also based on the current situation that we are in, the economics. People are always too busy. Sometimes they just don't realize it, and they give these kind of comments. What is your request as the Rare Disease Society of Singapore to the public? How will you want the public to look upon our children who are normal? Because to me, if you ask me, the parents are taking care, just like yourself, but the differences should not be there at all. So what will your request be?
I think whether the kid has got a condition or not, I think every kid is different. They are special in their own ways. So what we are asking the public is to, look at a kid the same way and yet differently. So they are the same because all children have their own needs, so in a way they are all the same, whether with a condition or not. But yet on the other hand, each kid, they are different because their needs will be different. Even between twins, two identical twins, they can never be exactly the same. So I mean, we don't need to judge them. We don't need to compare. We just need to take time out and try to understand, what actually the kid, what are the needs of the kid, and then for us when we are out, with our children, with a condition, actually what you mentioned, yes, we don't want to hear the hurtful comments, but actually a lot of us, we are okay. I mean, if you really want to know what's the condition of the child, is there any way, I mean, if you just want to find out, and learn about rare diseases, actually many of our parents are very open. We are okay if somebody comes up to us and say, oh, can I know, what can I know a bit more about your child's condition? Actually, we are okay. I mean, I got people coming up to me, talking, saying hi to my daughter, and then they start talking to me, and then gradually I actually shared, what condition she has, and then what are the needs that she has, and all that kind of thing. And in fact, when I go out shopping and all that, I was just buying things. I was just buying small things, then within 5 minutes of talking to this lady who runs a small store, it's not even a store, it's just a little table at one corner of the shop. And then within 5 minutes, the moment I mentioned RDSS, she donated like the 2 cartons, worth of consumables to us. It's like 2,000 pieces worth. just within like 5 minutes of speaking to her about my daughter and about RDSS. So I mean, there are a lot of wonderful people out there. Maybe it's just because they don't understand the situation. They don't understand what rare disease is all about. What are the typical challenges that we face? I think it's just because of the lack of information. So that's why we believe that sometimes the more curious they are, and we wish that some of them are more curious so that we have a chance to share with them what is rare disease, what are the challenges that we face, how are some of the ways that they can help our child. It's not about about donation. Sometimes it's just about accepting our children as who they are, accepting them as part of society, whether a typical kid or a kid with rare condition. Just accept them as children in general. They are also part of the society. I think that's something that we hope to see, a more inclusive society.
Thank you, Patricia. So definitely it's more on an empathy rather than a sympathy. I think that's what people need to do. And of course, of acceptance and simple gestures that we can talk about, right? When you're going to the lift, they're holding it for you, or even, just whatever, like I said, if you do not know anything about these conditions, I think it's always good not to give judgments, because I would like to share one incident. I mean, this happened a couple of years back. I was at I went to the zoo with my kids, and then as we were sitting down and eating, and I saw this particular kid standing and starting to run, and the father tried to hold the boy, and the boy is trying to resist, and then trying to climb onto the chair and behaving in a way that a symptom and signs of an autistic kid. But which I started to realize. I know it has some medical condition, but people around there started to look that kind of face, got agitated. They probably do not know, or maybe they know and they don't bother about it. So I think as a society, I think we need to, like what we mentioned earlier, if you do not know the condition, if you do not know, it's better not to give judgment, right? Because those kind of action that actually makes that parent in a very difficult situation. But of course, there are certain times where the kids can misbehave, so the parent might be a little bit lenient. So there are different ways that we can look at. The coin has always two sides of it, so we cannot just judge just based on one part and then put it into that judgment. So definitely, it's more on empathy, not sympathy at all. Before we end our show today, I'm also going to talk a little bit more on the RDSS upcoming event, which is the Carry and Hope. Am I saying that right?
Carry hope.
Carry Hope. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So here is it. Run with Hope. Okay. They've already started it on the 4th of December 2020, and it's going to all the way until 22 February. Is that right?
It's going to be extended to end of March.
End of March. So they can order these beautiful slots.
So,
is that right?
Yeah. So join the virtual run. You'll get this sloth. Run with the sloth, and you'll be, upon finishing the run, right, you'll actually get this finisher medal as well as a customized mask. Or if not, if you will just want to get a sloth, you can also get it through the Eru mobile app. Okay, so you can download the app onto your handphone and purchase the sloth through that app as well.
Thank you, Jasmine. So this is their official website, and RDSS is purely a non-profit organization trying to help other mummies and parents with the same condition, with rare disorder, disease, of course. Of course, they're trying to help each and everyone as a support group, and which, of course, different families has a different kind of situation in terms of financial, in terms of situations where families a little bit more challenged. But of course, with our local government, with their greater support, and also Patricia, Jasmine, and Kenneth, very actively with RDSS, with that kind of support group, I think it will be much more lesser burden to all these families who are out there who requires these assistances, right? Even little assistance. So viewers watching this, please try and participate. This is your official Facebook address, RDSS, right? It's all the way up to the end of the year. Sorry, end of this February. So you can actually get this, particularly this beautiful slot and virtual run. Okay, so we are coming to the end part already. So Jasmine, your last, before we finish up the show, anything that you want to say?
Anything I want to say? I think we are always not alone in our own kind of journey. So just stay positive and yeah, correct.
Oh, that's very short. I thought I'm going to give you a 1 minute. Ready? 1 minute. Start now. Okay, go.
I mean, just be happy every day. It's like if you are gonna make yourself so sad, but you still gotta live that day, right? Then what's the whole point? So just make yourself happy for that day, and I think just be kind. Whether we are special needs, no special needs, we are all human beings. So long we are being kind to one another, and I think life will be great. Yeah. So
Okay,
life is too short.
sing the song for us. Love is not rare.
My love is not rare, it is everywhere. My love is not rare. I forgot the lyrics. Anyway, this song is composed by a very talented mom in May, and her daughter Vera is also a beneficiary of RDSS. Yeah. So, yep.
I think
Still
if
got
you
some
tell
more.
him, you tell him about which school you attended and all that, it's easier to fill out the 1 minute.
Come on, we haven't finished yet. Don't waste the time. Come on.
No need, no need. Time is very short, so everything must be short and sweet and straight to the point.
All right. So you escaped that. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. So now we are coming to Patricia. Patricia, as the president, you are doing a fantastic job together with Kenneth and, of course, many other parents as well. With Jasmine, I know working back end as a secretary, but she says she's a volunteer. But more like she does all the admin work and make sure she get all these coordinated. So she's doing more than a secretary, but in as a volunteering. That's very wonderful of Jasmine. So Patricia, your wise words or whatever you feel like saying to our viewers, and of course your words, please.
I think I just want to ask that everybody, especially the parents, appreciate your child for who they are. Appreciate the baby steps that they take, whether a typical kid or one with a condition, and whether it's a rare condition or not. I think every child is precious, and with your love and your dedication, I think every of our child will have their own achievements. There's really no need to compare with the other children, how I wish my child can do this and do that. Every child will be able to achieve something that another child cannot. So we look at their abilities rather than their disabilities. And for children with rare conditions, to the parents, I just want to say, don't just focus on keeping your child alive, but give them the quality of life. Give them a life, not just keep them alive. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the wise words. Thank you for joining us at Kopi with Vans and creating much awareness with RDSS. And we hope that more people take part in the virtual run. I'm definitely going to sign up as well, even though I don't like running. I mean, to be very honest, okay. But
we don't measure your speed. It's okay.
Okay,
you can walk and then you tell us you ran. It's fine.
How about those who don't like to run but love to walk? Because I know a lot of people don't believe in running; they believe in walking. So how about that? Can they walk as well, Jasmine?
Can.
Sure, you just
So
have a
you show us.
slower run.
So it's walk rather than run. Can, huh?
Can. So long you are carrying hope.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies, for spending
Thank
almost
you.
1
Thank you
hour
for
with
inviting us.
Kopi with us. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We will stay connected, and all the best to the both of you and all to other parents as well. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Patricia.
Thank you.
so much.
Right.
And thank you. Bye-bye, Sarah.
Bye.
She's sleeping already.
No, her eyes are wide open again.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
All right,
goodbye.
okay,
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye. All right, thank you so much once again. I mean, it's such a wonderful time that I spent. I'm sure you all will have the same energy and much of valuable informations there. Of course, more comments are coming in. Thank you, Mary. Thank you to all the viewers who joined us. Like I said, the aim of Kopi with Vans is all about awareness. We dive into all kind of topics from health to science to research. Different experts who are coming in different topics we are talking about on every week, and of course, some of the viewers who have given us more topics to talk about, which is very good because before any topic comes in, I have to go and research. I have to go and do some studies as well. So, which is very interesting. I enjoy it. So that's where the Kopi with Vans started during the pandemic last year. So it's exactly a year, and I think with all your support and with all your love, I think it's going even more stronger. More events are coming up. There's more exciting news to tell about, but I will wait till when the thing happened. Then I will love to share with you all. It's going to be a series of programs that's going to come in, which is more potential, more information, and going to be very, very valuable. But today's topic is really, which is very close to my heart. As a parent, I think most of the time we don't value. I mean, sometimes we do value, but sometimes out of anger. But if you look at those parents today, Jasmine and Sarah, Jasmine and Patricia, both shared the way of how they actually taking care of their kids and with the kind of current challenges they go through. So it's really, really a super mom to me, even though they disagree to that, which is more into unconditional love. Which what happens if you have a child with a rare disease? How will you be? We always have to put ourselves in other people's shoe, but often we fail to do that because we don't always look at the situation, what people might go through, even by words or even judgments or comments. If you are a parent and with a kid with a rare disease, and if someone shared the same comment with you, how will you feel? So we must always be conscious about it. But of course, if there's nothing much good to say, do not say. But most importantly, do not pass that kind of judgment. Even though both mummies are perfectly fine, because it's something that more than that, for them, their kids are the most important thing in their life. So let's not pass comments, I think, which is very important. Even cases like for autistic, which I often see, it's a very, very nasty word to say that, the kid is behaving like a man, which they are not behaving like man. But you got to understand what kind of situation they are in, the parent and the kid, which is very important. They say the sword only can slice, but the tongue also can slice. The kind of words that some pass as a remark, especially to parents. So it's very, very crucial, very important that we don't pass comments, especially. Having said that, I hope everyone have a little more information about RDSS, which is Rare Disorder Society of Singapore. I'm going to show one more time on their Facebook details, which you all can actually go and like their page and show your support. Their virtual run, or you can walk also, just as what Patricia has said and Jasmine has said, which is all the way till end of the month of February. So this is the Rare Disorder Society Singapore's Facebook page. So please join in. Please give them a like and show your support. With that, I'm signing off. This is your Kopi with Vans. Seeing again next week on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Of course, we had certain delays, but it's Tuesday, 10 p.m. Apologize for that. But we will catch you again Tuesday at 10 p.m. at Kopi with Vans. Signing off with my coffee. This is Vans. And for now,